talent or talent team. I just need to accept that. So thanks for joining us. We've got a slightly different presentation for you today, basically HG today. So I'll kick it off for you.
Are you a next generation thinker? Do you want to work on awesome projects of all scales? Seeing things through from start to finish? Do you want to be a part of a team where your opinion matters, collaborating and innovating to solve problems together? Do you want a personalised career development pathway with training and opportunities to work where and how you like? So you can help shape the future of Aotearoa and build sustainable communities that matter. Join the next generation of thinkers at Harrison Grierson.
So basically, this is us. So that was a lovely message from our sponsor, HG. So as previously said, my name's Basha, I'm talent advisor. On the call today, we've got Seb from PIRITAHI, Glenn down in the Christchurch office, Chloe in our transport team, and Reza as well in our transport team here in Auckland. So why don't we cross over to PIRITAHI for Seb.
Hey there, Basha, you're coming in loud and clear.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Perfect.
So, yeah, my name's Sebastian Hicks and I'm here at PIRITAHI. Before I jump into what PIRITAHI is about and how HG is related to PIRITAHI, I'll just give you a bit of a breakdown on who I am. So I'm a born and bred South African. I have 10 years of experience working in South Africa. I graduated in 2010 with a BSc in engineering, civil engineering, and then worked my way through for about 5 or 6 years to get professional civil engineering registration in South Africa. And my background generally covers broad civils and land development consulting. In January 2020, I made the move across to New Zealand with my wife. And yeah, I haven't looked back. It's been great, despite the pandemic kicking in shortly after arriving. A couple of key things since I've been here. One thing is my professional engineering registration converted quite nicely over to a chartered membership with Engineering New Zealand because my degree was a Washington Accord degree. And yeah, I started up with Harrison Grierson at their Auckland Airport office, where I was a land development team leader, and that lasted 6 months before an opportunity came up at our PIRITAHI Alliance, where I've been now for 2 years as a land development discipline lead. So yeah, at HG Auckland Airport, where I started up, I was a team leader, and my responsibilities there were to lead projects on behalf of HG. So I was the primary client liaison with some of our bigger clients at the airport. I managed all of the design, production, and construction Park and Ride South, which is a second component to the existing Park and Ride North offered by the Auckland Airport, where we were adding about 3,500 new parking bays. That was unfortunately sidelined by the pandemic about halfway through. And then another great project, which is in picture here, is the Foodstuffs North Island head office and warehouse, where Harrison Grierson did all of the external civils works, and that included concrete hard stands and drainage around all of the warehouse structure itself, and all of the roadways and car parks that you can see in the foreground. So I managed large components of that myself, and great project to get stuck into on arriving in New Zealand. you can skip through. So I then arrived at the PIRITAHI Alliance, and a lot of people don't really know what PIRITAHI is. So essentially, Kāinga Ora have set up this alliance construction model, which has 6 partner organizations. So Harrison Grierson is one of 3 consultant companies that is in this alliance. We partner up with 2 construction companies, namely Dempsey Wood and Hick Brothers. And together, the 5 companies partner with Kāinga Ora to address their large-scale projects in Auckland, and to address the Auckland housing program that they have running at the moment. So essentially, the large-scale projects are scattered amongst different neighborhoods. There's about 9 neighborhoods that we're dealing with, and we cover the neighborhood densification. So we increase the structure to really support those communities. So within the alliance, my focus as a land development. So this is a 40-hectare suburb, and it's just southwest of Park in the central of central. In this neighborhood, we are doing 60 superlot developments. So a superlot is basically an amalgamation of between, I'd say, 3 and 10 existing lots. So they get combined. We remediate that property, and Kāinga Ora will then either sell it off to a market developer, or they will develop it themselves as a new modern apartment block, for example. With those developments, we're basically taking the number of homes from, well, we're replacing 450 existing homes with 1,500 new homes in that community. So that's almost a 4-fold increase in the number of homes and people, I suppose. And with that, we're having to upgrade a lot of the infrastructure in this neighborhood. We're doing the water supply, removing all the existing overheads that are running around all of the streets. We're putting in new roads and walkways, as well as traffic calming. And that's to keep the community safe and more connected. And we're also treating all of the stormwater in this neighborhood, which currently is infiltrating the ground directly without any treatment. So that's quite a significant benefit to the project and to the environment. So my day-to-day at PIRITAHI is pretty cool as far as from my perspective. I have a flexible location arrangement at the moment. Key Street, which is in the picture here. It's a beautiful location to engage with our construction team out in Oranga. And then I can work from home occasionally as well, which really helps out my family and my well-being. Within my role, I'm doing design management. So once again, I'm liaising with the client and the wider project team. I'm managing design deliverables, so all the modeling and drawing, reporting. And then I manage the budget and program of our projects as well. And then team leadership is a big one for me. I get to guide our team technically on the design and on the construction work. I manage my team's well-being and provide mentorship to growing engineers. And yeah, lastly, Basha, I would say, you know, to all the grads out there, why choose HG or /PIRITAHI? Well, certainly there are a lot of opportunities to take advantage of, and technically There's plenty to get involved in, a broad array of exposure within these both organizations. You can also take your career down a very a bright leadership path, because we're essentially big companies. We've got hundreds of employees, and you can really the sky's the limit in terms of where your career can go. We're industry leaders in within HG and PIRITAHI. We're setting the way forward, which I really enjoy. We have some high-profile projects, especially with PIRITAHI being on the Auckland Housing Program and really benefiting the future of Auckland and the community here. And probably number one for me is that Africa being well treated in these organizations is number one. And that's all from me out of PIRITAHI. Basha, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wow. We'll cross now to our Christchurch office, where I believe we've got Glenn waiting for us.
Kia ora Basha, kia ora all. Yeah, that's a very large and alarming picture of me as the operations manager for South Island. I'm coming to you live from Lincoln Road in Christchurch. So yeah, a little bit about me. I'm from Te Puke, so it's not as exotic as South Africa, but you know, some of you might know where Te Puke is. I'm a planner by training, a member of New Zealand Planning Institute, and progressed my career through planning. But right at the moment, because of my role in management and leadership, I'm probably too dangerous to be a planner now. My knowledge isn't quite sufficient, and I'll probably just get us in a lot of trouble. So my career has been one of progressing through various consultant roles, and then eventually team leadership, business management, operational management, to my current role as operations manager for the South Island. So in my role, I'm accountable for all of Harrison Grierson's operations in the South Island. Some of you might have come past our office on Lincoln Road. We have an office here in Christchurch and a smaller satellite office in Queenstown. And we're about 30 staff all up in the South Island. But we deliver projects from Tasman to Stewart Island. And in fact, I'll talk about a Stewart Island project in a little bit of time. I'm accountable for those operations. So I set strategy, I set targets, I hold people to deliver on budgets. I report to an executive team in terms of making sure that we looking after our people, we're achieving our strategic objectives, and that we are growing in terms of our business. So looking after our people, as Seb's mentioned, is an important part of HG. It's an important part of my role, and it's one of those things that I can offer, or we'll talk about in terms of offering people who join HG, is that growth potential. So within Christchurch, we have a multidisciplinary team, survey, structures or building structures and civil, digital engineering, civil and land development engineering, infrastructure and planning. And our goal here is to essentially be a part of delivering on HG's goal of being the #1 urban development partner in Aotearoa. So we're a hard-working team, as you can see here, flat out. In our team, this is part of our ethic of work-life balance. Thanks, Basha. But we do some work on the next slide, and there it is. So again, some of your students in the audience that are travelling to Varsity, maybe via Papanui Road, will recognise this orthodontic clinic. The bottom right image is the architect's render, and then the top right and left is the actual building as built. And for our structural team, we did all the design there, which was pretty tricky. Big curves, non-uniform plates, seismic design, etc., made it for a bit of a challenging one. But it's a good example of a little bit of the structural design that our teams get into. Here's our team working hard again. So we do like to get out and be a part of the community. This is the team here taking part in an event in and around Christchurch CBD. Again, it's this philosophy of wanting to get a good work-life balance, but also a bit of team building, a bit of enjoying each other, getting a good culture of interaction. There's some ugly faces in there, but we'll just move on, shall we, Basha? So this is a bit of an example of what we're doing in the land development space in and around Canterbury. This is the Spring Grove residential development, which is out in Belfast. The stage or the scheme plan you're looking at on the right is a stage which encompasses about 200 residential houses. Within that scheme plan, there'll be commercial area, there's some heritage precinct preservation area, there's some ecological and stormwater issues. There's a big motorway running through the middle of it. So there's been quite a bit of challenge in that development. And the little aerial, the little drone footage on the left-hand side is just some of the development being constructed as we speak. So this is the sort of development that the team does. It's multidisciplinary for us in terms of survey, civil, planning. And it's a good example of us working together to deliver one-stop shop solutions to our clients and trying to achieve that goal of being number one. I think we might have another image of some work we do. This is the Stewart Island job. So again, we work around various local authorities in the South Island, and in particular the Southland District Council came to us looking to do some work on their wastewater treatment plant and disposal field on South Island, or on Stewart Island. The plant there is pretty much a bushman's effort of a few pipes strung out with a little bit of low maintenance effort, and it's always been subject to maintenance issues. So we've designed a new and efficient pump station and disposal field, trying to make use of some of the natural topography, but also being conscious of the ecological and environmental impacts that such a development can have in a pretty special place like Stewart Island. So again, it's an example of a multidisciplinary project and one that we're pretty proud of. Here we are working hard again as a team. This time we're enjoying ourselves at a cooking school. Again, a chance to get out, enjoy ourselves as a team. In this case, a few dumplings were made and had. I think we're probably still eating through 750,000 dumplings that were made that are now in the freezer. What's our next one, Basha? Another land development job. Again, those of you who might know sort of south of Christchurch, this is the Horswell Junction Road area. Greenfields development for residential lots, which is in construction now, as you can see on the left. And this is for a national client of Harrison Grierson that does land development all around the country. And this one happened to be in Christchurch. So very proud that we can do these developments, offer a one-stop shop solution, and get involved with our clients to deliver on their aspirations. Flat out again, Christmas functions. I think this might have been one where the COVID restrictions were eased. So it was good for us to be able to get out and about and enjoy each other on a warm summer evening. And this is just one of those occasions. And then here we are, a bit refined. You might recognise the one bottom right. That's me doing my best croquet impersonation. So that's the live cross from Lincoln Road. I hope that gave you a bit of information. Back to you, Basha.
Thank you so much, Glenn. Love to see the engineers in the wild. And now we'll cross over to the transport team. Chloe, take it away.
Thanks, Basha. Hiya, my name's Chloe Davison. I'm a senior transportation specialist in the Auckland office. That's me there on the left with my good friend and colleague Jan, who was our technical lead in the team. We're looking over my design of a speed table in this photograph, which is something that we do for the Auckland Transport Road Safety team. So this is the transport team. This is us at our Christmas lunch in a fancy Vietnamese restaurant in Ponsonby, which is a great time to spend together. So the transport team, what do we do? So we do transport planning, transport engineering and modelling, geometric design, so that's 2D and 3D designs, and we work with the Safe Systems framework and road safety. So I specialise and spend most of my time doing transport planning. What I'm going to talk about today is my experience with working with developers in the land development space. So my favourite client is AUCKLAND Residential. They build and design really high spec, beautiful apartment buildings that are often mixed use. So if we just flick to the next slide there, we will see this is one of the latest ones that we worked on. So this is in Great North Road in GRAIL Inn. What we've got here is some offices on the bottom level with about 200 apartments above. So next slide, sorry. We also worked in the greenhouse, which is in Ponsonby. Similarly, has retail cafe on the bottom, supported with apartments above, which including a swimming pool and various other nice facade there. This is Modal. So Modal is a car-free development that we worked on in Mount Albert. Instead of car parks, they have cycle facilities located right next to the train station. A great place to intensify. So what do we do for our developers and what kind of assessments do we complete? So typically we look at network effects. So we will do a trip generation and distribution assessment. From that, we will often do, next slide, the network modeling effects and SIDRA intersection analysis. So look specifically at impacts at intersections. We also do car park design. So this one is for the Feynman Apartments in GRAIL Inn. So we get given the design from the developer and they say, go away, give us some feedback. We will look at gradients and transitions. We'll look at the visibility displays for pedestrians on footpaths, visibility for vehicles. We'll look at the vertical clearance, car parking dimensions, loading and servicing, cycle parking, and pedestrian and accessible networks. This is an example of some vehicle tracking analysis that we do, that we often do with these types of developments to make sure that drivers can enter and exit safely and that the design is viable. So moving on from transport planning, we also do geometric design, so that's 2D and 3D. In these images, we've got one from the Tamaki to Glen Innes shared path, so that's the 3D design for that. And on the right there is a roundabout that we designed in 3D as part of the road safety project with Auckland Transport. We also do some hardcore transportation engineering, so intersection design. On the left there, we've got an intersection that we designed for a private client. This intersection was a gateway into a very large development of, say, 3,000 dwellings, some schools, some shops, offices, and on an arterial road. So that was quite an interesting project. On the right there, we have a pretty standard intersection design as part of the Auckland Transport Road Safety Project. So that would be pedestrian safety improvements there. Okay, over to Reza.
Hi, Reza. Talk us through what you do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Reza. I have been working in Harrison Grierson less than a year ago, and I'm a technical lead in the Auckland office. I've been working in different countries from Iran, Malaysia, and New Zealand. And for 2014, end of 2014, I came to New Zealand to do my PhD in transport engineering at University of Canterbury. But the field of my PhD is public transportations. And the one who is standing beside me is Nathan Voice, who has been graduated at University of Canterbury and joined us as a graduate engineer. So I'm working both in transport planning and road safety projects, which are mainly based on Vision Zero and safe system approach. I'm just going to quickly explain what is Vision Zero and safe system approach, and from that, I'm going to provide you with a couple of cases we have been working on. So Vision Zero is a global movement to end traffic-related fatalities and serious injuries by taking a safe system approach to road safety. The premise of this strategy is that road deaths and injuries are unacceptable and preventable. Initially, it was implemented in a national road policy in Sweden in 1997, and after that, it's been adopted in different countries, and now it's been implemented in more than 20 countries nationwide. Underlying the Vision Zero strategy is the SAFE system, which is the holistic safety approach that shifts responsibilities from people using roads to people designing them. In a SAFE system approach, everyone involved in the transport system, from engineers and planners to lawmakers and police officers, all of them are going to share the responsibility with road users for designing a road system that does not allow a human error to have a serious and fatal injuries. As you can see in this image, there are 4 different aspects of a safe system approach that in our team, we are taking 2 aspects of it, which is going to be the safe speeds and safe sides and road sides. So the first one is going to be the speed limit reviews. As part of the Vision Zero, all road controlling authority for both local roads and state highways in New Zealand, they are reviewing their roads to identify roads where reviewing the speed limits could make a big difference in preventing death and serious injuries. There are different parameters in speed limit reviews. It's going to be like the number of people and travel modes on the roads, the function, features, and the surrounding environments of the roads. So every couple of years when they're reviewing the speed limit review, our job is going to be doing this step for different road controlling authority by doing the site visit, checking the roadside hazards, and setting up the proper speed limit based on the guidelines. So as part of the safe road and roadside designs, I prepared this example. This is a Mount Maunganui College, which is proposed to increase the number of students on the site from around 1,500 to 2,000. And there are going to be additional car parking on the site, additional classrooms. So as part of the safe system approach, we wanted to ensure that there is not going to be any likely issues on the site and on the road. So there is, as an example, they are going to relocate the on-site school buses to the on-street bus stops, which means there are going to be a conflict between the cyclists on the road and also students who are going to get into the bus. So at this stage, we are realizing with both Bay of Plenty Regional Council and Tauranga City Council to find the best treatment to eliminate these conflicts and improve the safety. Road safety audit is another part of the safe system approach. Road safety audit is a proactive approach to road safety, and it forms an integral part of the safe system approach. And it's been applied at all stages of road control, stages. Audits are all usually required to be completed by the road controlling authorities. And as a consultant, we usually undertake this kind of controlling in this road safety audit on behalf of the road controlling authority. So this project is for the KIWIRAIL project. There are 3 new train stations which is going to be constructing DRURY Central, DRURY West, and Northia. So as part of this project, we are going to check, as you can see, this is the DRURY Central. There are going to be a residential on one side of the train stations, and there are going to be different aspects of road safety issues. We should look at it. We should look at the design of the road, is if they are going to be in accordance with the standards, how to minimize conflict with different modes of transport. Is the traffic calming devices and different treatments are available on the design to minimize the safety issues in the future. This is another stations. As you can see, there are going to be a huge residentials around the site, and we expect to have like a cyclists, pedestrians, and vehicles. In addition, the site is close to the state highways, which requires the safety of the site to be accordance with the WAKUTAHI and the TA guidelines, and also the road control authorities. And here is another land development project, which is for the Fisher and Paykel healthcare located in East TAMAKI, Auckland. So there are different scopes in these projects. There are different buildings, around more than 2,000 parking spaces, different type of footpath bridges on the site, and we need to look at it all together to minimize the conflict between the vehicles, how traffic are going to move from one side to another side of the site. Is there any conflict between truck maneuvering, cycles on the site? We provide a different traffic calming devices on the site, from raised pedestrian crossings and so on. So the other type of safety project we are working on it is digital billboards, and we are doing expert witness for this sort of project. So we are reviewing digital billboards application on behalf of Auckland councils. There are different aspects of this project which should be reviewed to minimize the future safety risks of these digital billboards on the roads. So we are reviewing the digital billboards based on the designs, the location of digital billboards in relation to the existing traffic controlling devices like traffic signals, and if there is any if there is any overlap between traffic signals and the digital billboards, or if the digital billboard is going to mimic any traffic controlling devices on the site. We also check the contents of the traffic billboards and to find and evaluate what's going to be the level of distractions of vehicle when they are looking at this type of digital billboard. And this is the end of my presentation. I will pass it to Bashla.
Thank you so much, Reza. So as you guys can see, there's a bit going on there with our team. So lots of interesting projects and involvement, but I thought we should cover the weather a little bit. So we're expecting a lovely influx of sunny students to come through our grad and intern intake this year. So I thought I'd go through the application process and what to expect. So as we can see, we've got applications open at the moment. They're opening and closing actually on the 22nd of May. So a week and a half to go. And what you're expecting to do when you're applying, you need your CV, a transcript. So obviously it'll be unofficial, most likely, but that's okay. And then a recording. So you'll be recording yourself answering a question around our values and how they resonate with you. So we're really looking for great thought out answers and genuine reasons and motivations for wanting to join us. And the recruitment forecast, look, we're expecting applications to be processed and applicants notified after the 22nd of May. You'll receive a short phone call from us to discuss your application. So it might be me calling you. And then we'll be interviewing with the hiring managers and getting you to complete an assessment during your interview time, most likely. And then after that, we can expect you to flow into the last step of the process, which would be the feedback and offers being extended. So that's when you'll get your contract and you'll be set for next year. So some key details: applications are open now. They close on the 22nd of May, and apply online at harrisongreierson.com/careers. And you can also follow this handy QR code. But I thought I'd reach out to some of our audience at home for some frequently asked questions. So what grad and intern opportunities are available at HG? Well, we've got a whole heap. So we've got land development opportunities, transportation, 3 waters, structural, planning, landscape architecture, urban design, survey, and digital. So digital includes IT support, visualization, data science, and software development. So if you or yourself or your friends have these interests, feel free to jump online and have a look. When do applications close this year? So both intern and graduate applications close on the 22nd of May at midnight. So that's Sunday at midnight. Interns are probably going to start sort of at the end of summer, so November, December, and work over summer. And graduates start around January, February when you've finished and work full time. What are the values? Well, you need these for your application as part of your recording. So we've got client understanding, integrity and accountability, determination, one company united. So we all reflect these values and we really hope that you do too when you join us. But yeah, have a read when you have a chance to see if you fit with our values. And how many grads are we taking? So last year we took 15 grads across the country. This year we're open to that number, and look, we're a bit flexible, so we'll see what happens after the 22nd of May. But did we have any questions or anything from the floor?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is there anything that Harrison Grierson is doing to be a bit more sustainable or future thinking about what materials are being used or that sort of thing?
Put that to the floor. Anyone want to answer that one?
Yeah, I can answer that. Bradley, was it? So yeah, Glenn here. Yeah, so just recently, Brad, we've been working as a company on our sustainability strategy. And part of that process is working internally in terms of what our own footprint is. You know, before we can go and consult others, we need to be able to walk the walk and talk the talk. So we're doing a bit of that investigation, and that might then result in the way that we operate ourselves. And then from there, it's a matter of developing some strategies going forward. We are part of the ISO accredited system, and within that, of course, are some environmental standards. So we take it quite seriously. It is a part of what we think is our place in the world. And it's a growing space, both for us as a consultancy market, but also for us as our own operations.
Thank you for the answer.
And
Thank you.
I'll just, Basha, I'll just add to that from PIRITAHI side. Bradley, we definitely have a big focus on sustainability. It's one of our key performance areas. We have we get a lot of taxpayers' money to put towards these projects that KIWIRAIL is rolling out, and the sustainability component that goes into that is extremely important. In fact, we have suppliers coming through to our offices on a weekly basis, looking at their different product offerings, a lot of them in the stormwater space, different pipe suppliers, roading materials. A lot of innovative solutions are coming up in this sustainability space lately, and it's definitely a fast developing area that we're constantly monitoring. So yeah, great question.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Perfect. Well, as a small thank you, if you'd just like to let Aaron or Bella know your names, we're going to be sending out some grad packs to UC. So just a little thank you. They include these awesome, oh, you can't even see them, awesome glass bottles with a few other goodies. So let the team know after this and we'll send those through to you. But if that's all, thank you so much, everybody, and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for the great presentation.
Thanks, Bella.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.